Good morning. How are you? It's been a long while since I have made a video for YouTube. I'm sorry about that, but that's just circumstances. And I hope to start doing things now. I did a lot of shorts with the Cattleyas valkyrianas because I didn't have much time and I didn't want to miss the opportunity to just show them to you. I know there's a lot of people who can do some suggestions. Sometimes when I give some advice about how I cultivate the plants, it's just I want to emphasize that it is in my climate, in my region. Lots of people all over the world can do the same and they be successful, and sometimes it's not very adequate. I'm changing some things that I used to do because I saw that they were causing some problems, but it's nothing that is so tragic, and it's just a question of learning. We have just started the season with the Cattleya lodigesii, or lodigesii, as some people say. I think this is one of my favorite orchids. It's certainly one that I began cultivating before Valkyriana and Nobiliar, which are other of my passions, together with Sophronitis, which is also now Cattleya, and what else? Pumila, Cattleya pumila, which I still struggle a lot to be successful. But we are improving. Sophronitis, most of the Sophronitis or Cattleya Sophronitis now, they need high humidity. They don't like to be damp, the roots to be damp for a long time. But they also like cooler climate. It's more difficult to cultivate them in a hot weather, hot climate. Some people put them under darker shades, but that's you have to vary. It's simply difficult. And pumila is the same thing. It's notorious for being difficult to be cultivated because it likes cold climate, it likes humidity, but if you get that wrong, you're just going to end up with rotten plants. Let's come back to lodigesii. I have got some examples here. I just want to show you them. This is a plant that I got less than a year ago. Let me get very close to you. There's a new front here, a new growth here that is going to develop towards there. This one is a reasonably small plant, and it's a Cattleya lodigesii. It's very large. It's got a fantastic color, and it comes from Heron Gonçalves, from the state of Espírito Santo. And I just want to say also that Cattleya lodigesii is very common in my region, lodigesii and harrisoniana, and because they like cooler climates and they like more humid and higher altitude. They like to be very close to rivers or waterfalls or lakes. They like lots of luminosity. They are bifoliate, and I don't know if I have mentioned that to you. The bifoliate, almost all bifoliate Cattleyas, they like lots of luminosity, with the exception of Cattleya schilleriana. There might be other plants now, maybe with the new classifications, but that's what it is. So this is almost rubra Cattleya lodigesii from Heron Gonçalves. This one here, I'm gonna leave it for last. This one here, I forgot, I lost the tag. As you can see, it's in a vase, plastic vase. Has got stones, a little bit of bark, a little bit of charcoal, and there's got some ceramic broken roof tiles on the bottom to help absorb the humidity, the excess humidity. There's some new roots coming out of the vase. It's been here for about 2 years already, and it is Akini. It's a Cattleya lodigesii Akini. I don't know where, as I said, I lost it. I think it's from Bella Vista Orchids, BV Orchids, and has got one, two, three cytobulbs with 2 flowers, and 2 of them have got 2 flowers. One has got 1 flower, and it looks absolutely amazing. I think it's a very, very, very nice plant. Very good flower, and it has been here for about 2 years. Now let's get this older plant. As you can see, it has got a lot of lichen on top of the substrate. This one has got a bowl kind of plastic vase, which has got some punctures around so that it's got a lot of aeration. And probably it's the same, there's got some polystyrene here to make it lighter. Probably there's got stones on the bottom and some bark, charcoal, etc, etc, etc. The vegetable is fantastic. Obviously the old cytobulbs have lost some leaves, and some of the not so old cytobulbs are going to lose their leaves as well, because they have completed their function. And let me see if I can get it. It's a very large plant, flower. It's a large plant as well. It's already been here for about 2 years again. It's got 2 very long cytobulbs, right? Very, very long. There's got, I would say, at least 45 centimeters, only cytobulbs, and it's still growing. I don't know if you can see, but it's got dots, spots on the flower. And this plant here is another plant. No. I've got it. It's called Engel. It's a cross between the lodigesii Engel versus Madrid. It's from Jordão Labs, and it does very well here where I live. This other plant I already show you, which is the Akini, and here I have another plant which is very curious. It comes from Orquidário Oriental, and is a lodigesii, or lodigesii, Trilabero Lambari times Itapeti. So it's a cross between 2 Cattleya's lodigesii. I think it's absolutely stunning. If you can see the flowers. Some people consider, because it doesn't open, it's the second or third time that it's here at home, and the flower, let me get around. The flower, the petals and sepals don't open completely. Can you see that? So it stays a little bit like a cup, like a tulip. It's a trilabellum, because you can see that the petals have got very good marks like the labellum. It's frilled as well, as you can see these petals here, they are frilled like the labellum. Has got the white marks, so it is a true trilabellum. Finally, of the pure, I have my doubts if this is a pure lodigesii or if there's something else here, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And finally, I've got this one here, which is labeled simply as Cattleya lodigesii. I got this from my neighbor down the road. He comes from another city, very on the opposite side of São Paulo's capital. On the west side, I'm on the east side of São Paulo, closer to the coast. He's much more inland, and I got this plant as a present, which is absolutely stunning. As you can you see here all the old cytobulbs. I believe that when I got it, it was already leafless, but it's still here, and I'm not going to cut until it's completely dried off. And you can see the success of the cultivation because let's go like that. So this is the old cider bulbs, had flowers here already. It flowered here. So 4 years ago, it was not in my cultivation, and it had a lot of problems. That's why I got it. This one here, I believe, it's also it flowered at my friends, and the leaves are not fantastic. This one also flowered at my friends. It has some attack of some plague or pest. And as you can see, the original cider bulbs are very tall, and then it starts getting smaller and smaller, which is a sign that the cultivation was not right, was either not getting enough sun or nutrients. And then eventually it got bigger, and it got bigger on this one. And then on my last flowering 2 cider bulbs with flowers, it's getting very, very tall again, which is a pleasure to see, I must say. It's a sign of good cultivation. All these marks, because they are not completely protected from the harms of nature, and I don't intend to have them always like that, they have some marks. Sometimes I get orchids that they have got bird droppings, and it doesn't worry me. But what I want to show you, this is a flower which is still opening today. Can you see? And it's very light, it's small, this one, maybe because there's 4 flowers in the same stem. And it's got some marks here, it's very light. While the oldest one is still very light in color, but is a little bit more uniform. Can you see that? It's a little bit more uniform. It's not huge, but it's rounder. It's round, which is very important when you are analyzing the success of a plant. While this one is much bigger, this is the Aron Gonçalves, can you see? It's a much bigger plant, much darker, and that gives a very good variation in the collection. Here I have, oops, keeps on falling. There's too much weight on this side of the vase, mainly now that the plants are growing. So they tend to fall like this, and you have to be very careful. But it's coupled to a piece of trunk of wood. Sometimes the roots get underneath the bark, and that's very, 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 very good. Protects the roots, keeps them moist, and is inside. It's coupled to a vase, plastic vase. This one I didn't make holes around. Don't know why, but it's doing well. I know why, because this is a very old plant, and I didn't do that at the time. This got some sphagnum on top, only on top, to keep the moisture not to dry up very fast, and the plant simply loves it. Let me show you from the distance. Right? Can you see? Lighting is not very good. I tried to set up the lighting, but it broke on me. Now I want to show you something different. If you don't know this plant, which is a mini orchid, this is called, look at the vegetative. I've got it for about 2 years. This is called Cattleya alaori, used to be called Lelia alaori, comes from the northeast of the country, from Bahia state. They have got some exceptional, unique orchids there, always in the Atlantic subtropical forest. It's just coupled in a piece of wood. I chopped the block. Don't know if you can see, but it means there's lots of grooves on this hardwood, which I just got it from the carpenters. They were left over and they are gonna fire or throw it away. So I got it, asked for them, and they gave it to me. You know what I'm doing. Lost the tag. Oh my god, gonna lost everything. I'll take it later. But what I want to show you is that this orchid, like quadricolor, Cattleya quadricolor, it doesn't fully open the leaves. Another curiosity about this plant, which I found recently, is that this is called, it's a Cattleya alaori alba. The first bloom of this plant didn't come alba, it came lightly pink. Recently I bought a variation of this plant which is flamed, and I have never seen that for sale in about 15 years that I like orchids and I cultivate. I had never seen that, and I rushed buying it because it was very, very, very cheap. But on the same week I discovered that Cattleya alaori is not very stable when it comes to the coloration of its flowers. Sometimes it may flower with alba, then it goes back to pink, then it goes back to darker, then some of them are orlata, which means that around the tube here, it's very dark, and then the following bloom, it doesn't show that characteristics anymore. And I'm showing you the alaori because here I have a mini orchid. I don't know if you can see the vegetable, it's mini. It's not as big as lodigesii, it's not as small as a Cattleya alaori, but it's a hybrid. I'm not sure if it's a natural hybrid, but anyhow, it's a Cattleya lodigesii pelorica versus Lelia alaori. Now Cattleya alaori. And it's by Bella Vista Orchids, or BV Orchids. And what happens that I have got two plants here, and I attach the plants, I fix the plants with a little bit of wire. It's in a fan. We call this a fan when you make this kind of mount, which is excellent for orchid growing. Lots of orchids like it because it's got loads of aeration. It's hardwood, it should last a long time. I put some of the old roots are inside this bowl, plastic bowl vase for orchids, and has got bark, rocks, it's got some old leaves. This one has got the coconut shell, cracked coconut shell, charcoal. Let me show you charcoal, hardwood charcoal, mineral, vegetable, not mineral, vegetable. And this is a cross. I think it's a very cute cross for people who have little space between Cattleya lodigesii. You can see it's got all the characteristics of the lodigesii, but it's much smaller, vegetable and flower, but it will not open fully, which is because of the Cattleya alaori. Finally, it's a disaster today. I've got a runny nose and I have to be careful. Finally, I've got another classic cross here. It's between a Cattleya lodigesii and what we used to call Cattleya Hoffmannsegala. Cattleya Hoffmannsegala or Hoffmannsegala rupestris. They are plants, orchids that grow on rocks, on top of mountains, rock mountains, mainly in the state of Minas Gerais. They have got little light, not so much light, so they are very little protected from direct sunlight because of the high altitude and cloud formation and fog, etc., etc., mist. So it's a cross. The shape reminds a lot of the now Cattleya what is written here. It's a cross between Cattleya longipes and Milleri, and it's got that shape. It's got a cross in the vegetable. It reminds more of lodigesii, and it's called Cattleya. So, no, it's not. But well, it's a new cross. I don't think it's a natural cross, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 pseudobulbs with spikes, and a lot of them still to come. And it's fantastic. It flowers more than once a year, and I think that's it what I had to show you. Okay, thank you.